Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for WLBT Plus. My name is Kara Shirley, your digital news desk host, and it is Wednesday, June 11th. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're watching on our mobile app or through our website, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you're watching on any of our social streams, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, thank you so much for watching there as well. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you have any questions or comments, anything like that, you can always leave those in the comment section. Pat Brown is already tuning in saying hello from Florida. Hello, Pat. How are you doing today? Thank you so much for watching. So we do have a lot of news to get to. We have a winner in Ward 1 here in Jackson for the city council position. Before we do that, though, let's take a look outside, see what the weather is looking like over Vicksburg right now over the Mississippi River. This is courtesy of our Riverwalk cam. Beautiful day out there. Lots of sunshine, lots of big clouds. We are expecting some rain, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. So let's go ahead and jump into the news because we do have a lot to cover today. And the big breaking news right now is that Ashby Foote has been declared the winner for Ward 1 in the city of Jackson for the councilman position. So he won by just 8 votes. So all of the affidavit and mail-in absentee ballots were counted. He was in the lead. He received 739 votes compared to Grace Green, who received 1,731. And Jasmine Barnes, we've got those numbers a little off. Jasmine Barnes received 716 votes. So in all, 7 affidavit ballots were counted, 10 mail-in absentee ballots were also counted. So he won by 8 votes. Ashby Foote did. So there we go. We have an answer to that election. Election was, of course, last week. Let's see. Britt tuning in from Kosciuszko. Hey, Britt. Hello, Jessica from Meridian. And Shakia, am I pronouncing it right? Hey, watching from Mississippi. Thank you so much for tuning in. And Alice watching from Macomb. Thank all of you so much for watching. So let's we'll go actually to Rankin County now, where sheriff deputies there are investigating a traffic accident that left one person dead there in Rankin County. So here's the map of the approximate location of where the wreck happened. Sheriff Brian Bailey says it happened around 9 o'clock last night. It was on Diamond D Lake Road off of Highway 43, about halfway between Pelahatchie and Puckett. He says that what happened was the driver ran off the road and hit a tree. The victim's name has not yet been released, but when we get that information in, if we get that information in, we will update you with it. And police are investigating the shooting death of a Jackson woman. You can see here where it happened in the 3600 block of Jane Avenue. So JPD says that her body was found there, but her name has not yet been released. If you live in that area, this shooting happened yesterday. So if you live in that area, if you do have security cameras or Ring doorbell cameras, please check them out. And if you see anything that doesn't look quite right, let JPD or Crime Stoppers know. Any information, of course, to help with their investigation there. And a teenager has been sentenced after he was found guilty in a deadly Jackson robbery that happened back in 2022. So here he is on your screen, LaAndrew Williams. According to the Hinds County District Attorney's Office, Williams was sentenced for first-degree murder in the shooting death of 49-year-old Jimmy Lee Pierce Jr. The Williams was 15 years old in 2022 when he shot and killed Pierce at the Northwest Plaza Apartments on Northwest Street. Prosecutors say that Williams learned Pierce was in a relationship with his mother. So that led to a robbery attempt, which ended with Williams shooting and killing Pierce, and he will now spend 35 years in prison. And a bond has been denied for the man who is accused of killing a Jackson teenager. So Michael Tate Jr. was in court yesterday, and he is accused of killing 15-year-old Zacharias Berry. So the Tate had been out on bond and being charged with 2 counts of auto theft. He was arrested in connection with an auto theft ring, and then was arrested in connection with the killing of Zacharias Berry. And of course, he has been denied bond. And some big news that has happened. We told you about a little bit about it yesterday. We have now new details on a case of a woman who says that she was abused and held against her will for 3 weeks here in Rankin County. So sheriff deputies arrested 45-year-old Quincy Gilbert in that case and charged him with aggravated assault and capital kidnapping. Here is the location of where she was rescued versus where the suspect was captured. So investigators told 3 on Your Side that he and the victim were not dating, but they had known each other. Smith County Sheriff Joel Houston says in late April, Gilbert, the victim, and another woman drove about 50 miles from Smith County to Gilbert's home on Holly Bush Road in Rankin County, which we just showed you the map of that. Authorities say the victim was then held captive for 3 weeks and was beaten with a broomstick. The victim's mother had reported her missing and gave investigators enough information to be able to track her down at Gilbert's home.
The victim has a medical condition that physically incapacitates her in some aspect. And so she was not able to push past Mr. Gilbert in order to leave the residence. He physically restrained her.
To my understanding, there was padlocks on the outside of the doors at the home. When Rankin County got there, they had trouble getting her to the door, and I think she was able to come out of a window.
So Sheriff Houston says the victim is now safe. She is with her family and is recovering. Gilbert is being held on a $600,000 bond at the Rankin County Jail. So we are definitely going to continue to follow this case and bring you any updates on this, follow it through the court system, and let you know what happens. Now we're moving to Leake County, where the attorney for an accused killer in Carthage says that his client acted in self-defense. So police charged 27-year-old Leonard Black with murder for the shooting death of 18-year-old Aquarian Conneson outside of a convenience store on May the 2nd there in Carthage. Black's attorney, James Murphy, says that his client was acting in self-defense. He says there were 2 friends, but he says there were 2 friends, but they had gotten into an argument inside of the convenience store that continued out into the parking lot. 3 on Your Side did get exclusive access to the surveillance video that shows Conneson pacing back and forth in front of a car that Black was sitting in. This is the video here now. The attorney says that Conneson was later went to his car to get a gun and then opened fire. He says Black was in legal possession of a gun and returned fire, killing Conneson. Here's what the attorney had to say about his client not receiving bail.
Perhaps there was some thought that, there's no way that my client was just sitting there minding his own business. There had to have been something else to it. So let's keep him there until we figure that out. But that's not the way our criminal justice system is set up. Our criminal justice system is set up as you leave them out until you figure out what they did wrong, not keep them in jail until you can figure out what it is they did wrong. But all of the evidence in this case points to my client's 100% innocence.
The 3 on Your Side did try to get comment from the Carthage Police Department, but we were told that no one was available to give comment at this time. So we're going to continue to follow this case of Leonard Black. As we said, his attorney is claiming self-defense, and he is now sitting in jail without bond. There will be a hearing that on this coming Monday to try to get bond for him. Initially, bond was denied with the Carthage Municipal Court, but it is moving to a higher court, and we will cover that and let you know what happens on Monday, whether or not he does receive bond. And of course, you can read the full story on this on our website at wlbt.com. And the retrial of Timothy Harrington Jr., the man who is accused of killing Jimmy J. Lee, will not be held in Lafayette County like it was for the first trial. The judge did grant, did grant a request for a change of venue. So Harrington is charged with capital murder in the death of his fellow Ole Miss classmate back in July of 2022. So Harrington's attorneys argued that they did not believe that he could get a fair trial in Oxford, where investigators say that the crime happened. So they claim that jurors could be tainted due to the extensive media coverage. The first trial last December, prosecutors argued that Harrington killed Lee to cover up the fact that the two of them had been involved in a romantic relationship. So that trial ended in a hung jury because at the time, Lee's body had not been discovered. So that changed in February when deer hunters in Carroll County discovered Lee's remains. Harrington was then re-indicted on this murder charge. We spoke with a law professor who says that although this case has been widely publicized, he believes that having a change of venue will help the defense find jurors who are not as invested in the case since it did not happen in their community.
I do think a change of venue might just nudge things enough to make it more likely to ensure a fair trial for the defendant and a verdict one way or another. It's notable here that the prosecution did not oppose the defendant's motion for a change of venue. I think the defendant has wanted this out of Lafayette County for a while, and now the prosecution is on board with the idea.
Harrington remains behind bars until his new trial happens, which is set to take place in October. However, no decision has been made yet as to where the new trial will take place. But of course, we will keep you updated on that. Looking back over here at our chats, we got Brenda watching from McGee and Martha tuning in from Union, and Ashley says that she's sneaking and watching from work. Someone catch her up real quick. Nobody tell on Ashley, okay? And Melissa Price says, hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. So, Ashley, we've covered a lot of stories. It would take a lot to catch you up, but you can watch the replay of this afterwards on the our Facebook page or on our website. We told you 2 weeks ago about Eudora's restaurant in Jackson abruptly shutting its doors. The owners had even alluded that they were having some financial challenges. Well, now we're learning that the company is being sued for defaulting on more than $200,000 that it owed, showing that those challenges now have some legal consequences. The restaurant had been opened for nearly 2 years at the district at Eastover and had amassed a following, but it's also the second business to fail in that building and the fourth restaurant at the district to close their doors since 2017. The new court documents uncovered exclusively by 3 on Your Side show just how much the company couldn't pay. This filing from the New York Supreme Court reveals that Fiji Funding provided cash advances to Eudora's last year, totaling more than $180,000. The arrangement for paying it back was simple. They were supposed to pay an estimated percentage of what the company brings in from customers. But just 3 months into the agreement, bank records revealed that some of those transfers started bouncing, meaning there was insufficient funds in the account to make the payments. Fiji Funding also claimed that Eudora's told the bank to stop paying Fiji, which violated their agreement. So these agreements are essentially made for future earnings of the company. And Fiji Funding's lawyers argue that they aren't considered loans. And that means even if the business goes under, it is still responsible for paying that money back. Fiji Funding says Eudora's owes them more than $215,000, which includes interest on what the company borrowed. And attorneys for Eudora's call the contract predatory and grossly unreasonable. Accused Fiji of deceptive practices, even claiming the defendant here was set up to fail. The three on your side contacted the owner, Tyler Alford, for comment, but he did not return our request as of this time. If we do hear back from him, certainly we will add this to the story and let you know about it. Keith Honore here, our operations manager here at Wlbt, is watching from the newsroom. Nobody tell on him for not working and watching TV instead. So, but love Keith. And Rhonda here says, Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to you too as well, Rhonda. It's hump day, almost time for the weekend. So let's go to the Mississippi Band of Choctaw Indians now, where they went to the polls yesterday to vote on a marijuana referendum and certain leadership positions. So here are the results for that marijuana referendum. More than 1,300 people voted yes, while 1,100 people voted no. This vote would result in a comprehensive study of the issue and its impacts, and that could lead to potential legislation in the future. And also, in addition to this referendum, 9 spots on the Choctaw Tribal Council were also on the ballot. So before we move on to look at the weather and our this week's Fighting the Blight story for the city of Jackson, let's hear from our sponsors at JXN Water.
Hey Jackson, curious about our water system? Join the JXN Water Academy to get the inside scoop on our water and sewer operations. 3 sessions, 3 months, and a whole lot of hands-on know-how. You'll even get a behind-the-scenes tour of the O.B. Curtis Water Treatment Plant. So if you're ready to dive in, head to jacksonwater.com/Water Academy or give us a ring at 601-500-5200 to apply. But hurry, spots are going fast.
And again, thanks to JXN Water for sponsoring WLBT Plus. Let's look at our temperatures outside right now. We are sitting in the mid 80s across the area. Well, actually mid to upper 80s across the area. If we look at our current radar, you can see where we don't have any rain in the area currently. And over the next 12 hours, we do have a slight chance of rain, but that drops off as we go into the overnight hours. Our next 7 days will give us more rain chances and temperature staying about the same, with looking at 50% chance of rain every day. It's not looking like a pretty wet next 7 days, actually. But if you want more details on that, who can expect the rain, who can maybe ease off of the worry of rain, you be here at 2:30 today for our First Alert weather team. They'll be here and give you the full details on our forecast.
Now, Fight the Blight, a year-long investigation from WLBT. 3 on your side.
So city and county leaders say that the source of tens of thousands of discarded tires in Jackson is tire shop owners and the people they hire to haul old tires away. Now, plans are in the work to ensure that those shops are complying with the law. So more than 200 tires are scattered along a secluded street in Councilman Vernon Hartley's ward, apparently dumped there by people who are trying to avoid paying recycling or disposal fees. Councilman Hartley says he wants Jackson's planning department to add requirements to business and contractor licenses, partly contingent upon how they're getting rid of old tires. And that means if you operate a tire shop or a disposal business, you would have to provide proof proof that the tires are taken away and disposed of properly, or you could face serious consequences. It's also a problem for Hinds County District 3 Supervisor Deborah Butler Dixon. Cameras throughout West Jackson have stopped much of the tire dumping, but not all of it.
We want to make sure there's a stopgap in there for the business. You go get your business license for a tire shop, you need to show us documentation of how you are legally managing your waste tires. We want to make sure that you're not just dropping them off in the woods someplace.
Now, the next council meeting, Hartley plans to bring up the issue of holding tire shop owners accountable and contractors accountable. So you are encouraged to report any illegal dumping to JPD and the Mississippi Department of Environmental Quality. The city's solid waste division can also collect up to 5 tires from your curb if you call the office. So instead of going and dumping it somewhere, if you have a few tires, 5 tires, contact the solid waste division. They can come and pick them up. Now, if you have a story that you would like for us to cover regarding fighting the blight here in the city of Jackson, you can go to our website and fill out a form. You see here at the top of the page, Fight the Blight. If you click on that, it's going to take you to this page, and you can enter the information and all of the information on the eyesore or the blighted property. And if it is something that we can or will cover or do a story on, we will contact you. You can also go there to see all of the prior Fight the Blight stories that we have done. Again, this is a year-long investigation or year-long coverage that we are doing in the city of Jackson, hoping to bring forth a positive change moving forward as far as not only the look of Jackson and the cleanliness, but also when the city is clean and it is it really breaks down on crime when you don't have abandoned houses where people can go and squat in, or where crimes are able to take place with nobody seeing, or abandoned businesses, things like that. It really does help to move the city forward when those things are cleaned up. And that is something that we desperately need here in the city of Jackson. So if you have a blighted area, a blighted property, a community, a house next to you that is an eyesore, let us know about it through our website. And some good news from the State Department of Education says that Mississippi's education ranking has climbed to hit this 16th in the nation. It is the highest ranking ever for the state of Mississippi. So this is according to the Kids Count survey, which analyzes how children and young people are faring across the nation. So Mississippi has slowly improved its ranking in recent years, coming in at number 30 last year. We were in 48th place back in 2014, just to show you how far we have come in just a little over 10 years. So the Kids Count study focuses on 4 areas: economic well-being, education, health, and family and community factors. And overall child well-being, the survey does say that Mississippi still comes in at number 48, but as far as the collective number and the number for education, we now sit at number 16, which again, like I said, is an amazing thing for the state of Mississippi. So State Education Superintendent Lance Evans did release a statement that says, in part, Mississippi students have proven once again that there is no limit to what they can accomplish with strong support of Mississippi educators. So if you are a Mississippi educator, thank you so much for what you do for our students. You are greatly appreciated. Hey, Raymond, I see your comment. It's unfortunate that you think this is not important, but you are allowed definitely to have your own opinion. With WLBT Plus here at 1, we try to focus hyper local on our local issues around the metro area and our bedroom community. So that is why maybe you don't hear us on this platform right here covering some of the stories that you would be interested in, but we do cover them in our newscast and on our website, and you can go and check that out, WLBT.com. Well, guys, that's it it for WLBT Plus today. Our weather team will be here at 2:30 to give you a detailed look at your forecast, and I will be back tomorrow. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.